Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Goths Do a Podcast. Our Goths for today are Bella, Catherine, Crystal, and new Goth, Nikki.
Hi, my name's Nikki. My interests are plants, coffee, gin, and not necessarily in that order.
Today, we're talking about self-care, everything from capitalism to Gothic-inspired self-care. Hope you enjoy.
So today's prompt is about self-care. What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? What do you girls want to start talking about first?
Well, I'm a rampant anti-capitalist, so I'd like to talk about, the idea of self-care in general is a very vague term, and a lot of people will, if you ask someone what their self-care routine is, a lot of them will say, "Oh yeah, I put on a face mask and have a bubble bath," which, fair enough. If that is what helps you relax and helps you feel taken cared for. One thing I have is a pet peeve of mine, I guess, is especially coming around any kind of like Mother's Day or anything like that, is all of these fluffy slippers and face masks that have freaking gold in them. Like, what is gold flakes meant to do for your skin? I'm sorry, but what are gold flakes meant to do for your skin? Someone please explain this to me.
You get to feel bougie.
I mean, yeah, I feel bougie, but, it ends up costing twice as much. And I think there's a lot of self-care stuff it just seems to be designed at making you feel bougie, I guess.
Like if you spent more, somehow you'll feel better.
Yeah, it's throwing money at the problem instead of, therapy.
Instead of dealing with it.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because I remember, like, in my early 20s, that I like a night in with the girls with a glass of wine and a face mask, which was all fun and games, and it was fine. That was self-care. There was no actual proper stopping and thinking about what I needed or what my body needed. Like, I probably should eat a vegetable at some point this week, kind of thing.
Nah.
But it was always about those like superficial bits of self-care, which are nice to have and are helpful, but isn't necessarily what you need all the time.
I agree. I think what I've been learning over the last few months is that the capitalistic idea of self-care seems to be comfort, whereas what I more lean towards is almost mindfulness and ways that I can access a more mindful frame of being, which then brings me a better and deeper comfort.
Yeah, like something that actually settles and sorts through any of the anxiety or issues you're having in life at the time.
Absolutely.
But sometimes bubble bath and face mask too. Like, sometimes glass of wine. Like, I just want to, I just want to bring it back to something Crystal said earlier about, like, have a bubble bath instead of go to therapy. I was lucky in a weird way in that lockdown kind of coincided with when I started my first round of talking therapy. And something that the guy said to me was, right, keep a diary every day and keep a diary of one nice thing that you do every day to kind of retrain your brain at what you're looking at, because you're like, oh, I'm awful, everything's terrible. But if you've kept a diary, here's one nice thing I've done every day for like the last 6 months, then hey, you have this like nice like cushion to fall back on. You can prove to yourself, hey, no, I am a nice person. I do sometimes like myself.
Exactly.
That's something I've been doing.
Yeah, no, that's really important to do, is to something I worry about with self-care is sometimes I'll call things like going on a shopping trip self-care. And I've just spent hundreds of pounds buying new clothes, and I'm like, it's fine because this is self-care.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good, and damn, I look good.
You do look good,
but it's a fleeting goodness, and by the time I get home and I file my credit card away under do not look, I'm not feeling as good as I was, before.
Yeah, you just get in, it's like, oh no, the emptiness is descending again. Quickly, spend more money.
Yeah, what can I buy on Amazon now to try and fill the void?
Wait, Amazon isn't self-care?
Amazon is not self-care.
No, I have some news that Amazon are afraid they are not self-care. They do market them slightly that way because you can get it instantly, but they're not self-care.
Amazon Prime has been my just greatest weakness this lockdown. It's not even funny how much money I have given to Amazon over lockdown. I'd love to give it locally, but the local shops are literally shut. I can't get the item otherwise.
I feel the same. I feel bad that I give money to Jeff.
It's like, I would love to do like a mindful shopper.
Oh yeah, I was talking actually about my partner with this earlier with the shopping and stuff. So we go do our self-care shopping trip, and I will spend easily like 20 to 40 quid, if not more, in Primark, and then wander around and buy other little bits and bobs, pop to Greg's, blah blah blah. But we're looking at upgrading my computer, and obviously computers are expensive, and I'm like, I feel like I'm having a mini anxiety attack about spending all this money on a computer. But probably throughout the month on the random stuff I buy to treat myself for self-care, I probably spend at least half of the computer's worth on random stuff.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah, I won't buy practical things for myself, but I will buy nice things for myself.
I think it's the illusion of choice. It's like, I don't like being told, right, you have to upgrade this, you have to spend your money on something. It somehow feels like it's being stolen from me when that happens, even though it's stuff that I need. It's like, if I have to spend it, I don't feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's been taken from me. Whereas if I buy pointless crap, I feel in control. That was a bad decision, but it was my decision.
When your life is spiraling out of control, and the only thing you can control is what you're buying.
Yeah, that's how we feel about capitalist self-care. Do you have a current self-care routine that works really well for you, that can obviously include all of the things we've just mentioned as capitalist, but also anything else that you do for yourself?
So one of the big things that I've started doing as part of self-care is trading doom scrolling for reading. Now, I don't want to get into the content of what I'm reading. I'll cover our own. How you doing? But I realized that a lot of my doom scrolling is me just wanting to engage my brain and read something, because turns out I actually have a hobby and it's called reading, and I've never really engaged with it before. And so one of the things I'm trying to do is every time I catch myself doom scrolling, I'm realizing I just want to read something. So instead, I flip over to a book or whatever else. Even sometimes it's a Wikipedia article, and I'll learn something and I'll read something. And honestly, because I'm going to spend 2 hours sat on the sofa doom scrolling, I might as well spend that 2 hours reading something that's actually useful. Isn't going to bring my mood down. Isn't going to make me frustrated and angry at the world at large. Instead, I can learn something, or it's going to be a story that brings me joy. So that's one of the big sort of self-care things that I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
You forget how addictive doom scrolling actually is, though.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so I've realised recently, I haven't actually had any of the social media timers go off on my phone. So Facebook, I've got half an hour, and Instagram, I've got an hour. And probably about a month ago, Instagram was hitting an hour really, really, really easily, and I'd be just ignoring it and continue scrolling through Instagram. And I've been on a week off this week, and usually during my week off, my timers are going off like within the first 3 hours of the day, because I've checked my phone about a zillion times. But because I've been reading more even on my iPad or playing piano, that's one thing that I've really done that I find, even when I'm anxious, because it's something you have to concentrate on, it kind of centers you, and it just blanks your mind, because you focus on learning this song or learning this new technique instead of whatever else is going on inside your head, and it gives that little bit of peace that you don't usually get in everyday life, especially don't get from things like social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about that fast hit of dopamine. So for me, that's serotonin. You just want that fast hit rather than, it's like the brain equivalent of eating sugar.
Yeah.
I was like, it's good, but it's not going to do anything for you, and your mouth is going to feel all dirty. So my self-care routine, it kind of varies depending on the day. I feel like it's easy to put loads of pressure on yourself. It's like, do some yoga in the morning, drink 10 litres of water. Have you eaten a vegetable this hour? If not, why not? You're a failure. So just do something every day. Like if I keep a diary, I don't have to do it every day. I want to meditate, I don't have to do that every day. It's helpful. I started with the diary, kind of keeping track of nice things that happened, just to force myself to focus on something other than the crushing doom of coronavirus, the oncoming apocalypse. Yeah, kind of like you guys as well. I started reading a bit more. Did anybody else find it really difficult to concentrate on reading at the beginning of lockdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I could not concentrate on anything.
My mind was so busy, yeah.
So yeah, started painting and colouring in a bit more because I used to like to draw, but I'm not very good at it anymore. So if somebody else has already done the drawing for me, it's really nice to I just have to colour between the lines, and that's fine. That is as much as I have to contribute, and I still get a really pretty picture at the end. So yeah, colouring it has been good.
I've been started doing that actually in the last week or so. I've been tracing pictures out of the colouring book into my sketchbook and then painting them, because I've never been a good drawer, but I've always enjoyed painting. One of my primary school teachers said I'll be the next Picasso if I became a painter, which obviously I never did. And so I've actually found it really enjoyable and freeing to do a hobby that I haven't probably done since I was a kid, because obviously as you go through secondary school and even into adulthood, they're always like, you must do something that you're good at. But why do I need to be good at everything? Why can't I do something just because I think it's fun? And I may make an absolute nonce or idiot of myself, but it's fine because I had fun and I'm not hurting anyone doing it. Okay, I may have redecorated my dining room table, but that's a me problem.
That's fine. That's fine. That's the table's an inanimate object. It's not going to get upset because you redecorated it. But that's such a good point that you don't have to be good at it to enjoy doing it. Like, I used to go to dance classes once a week, and it just, like, it was so much fun. It made me so confident. And then you just get really stressed out because you're not picking up a move. It's like, if I was good at it, why would I be going to the class? Like, that would make no sense. You go because you can't do it. It's like, yeah, just enjoy yourself, you know?
When I told a friend of mine that I'd started picking up piano again, the first thing that she said to me is, "Oh, good. You need to learn these sort of songs, and then you can be one of my backing things," because she sings. And I'm like, "No, I'm just doing this for fun. I have zero interest. Yeah, I have zero interest in performing for people or recording anything really. I want to play because I like, you know." I like playing piano. I find it quite fun and stimulating.
Whoever came up with the concept of like monetizing your hobbies, I hope they're having a horrible day today. Like, I just hope they're having a terrible day because they've ruined hobbies.
Yeah.
It's like, I do have one hobby, which is creative writing, where I would love for that to become a job. But whenever you sort of say to anyone, "Oh yeah, I want to be an author. I want to be like a fantasy author," people are like, "Yeah, well, it's not a real job though, is it?" And it's like, well, I can't have it as a hobby because apparently all my hobbies have to make me money. But if it doesn't make me enough money like a real job, then I shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And I've internalized that so badly to the point that I stopped writing completely, even for fun, like even little stories. Because I was like, well, what's the point of writing anything if I can't publish it?
Yeah, that is such a strong point. It's like I started writing again during this lockdown as well. Because I used to write in uni. That was what I did. But yeah, it's that thing is that, oh, if I'm not going to monetize it, why would I do it? And it's only just now that I've just picked it up again. I was like, I started writing poetry. Me. If anyone who knows me, I'm writing poetry. That is just the most uncharacteristic thing ever. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just a nice thing to do. I wrote a poem about a bee that stung me. It wasn't even a bee that stung me. It was a wasp, but I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with wasp. So it's like, I got stung by a bee and that's a poem now. It's just fun and silly and nice. And it's not going to make me any money, but it will make me laugh.
That's the thing is, if you're going to be creative for yourself. You don't have to show anyone. You don't have to tell anyone. And you don't have to make any money from it. You can tell people, you can show it off, and you can make money from it. But don't put the pressure on yourself to just not do it because you feel like you need to tell the world about it and give it to everyone.
Linking this all back to self-care, one of the things about hobbies and being creative is the fact that it lets you express yourself. Like, it lets you, like, you play the type of songs on your piano that you're feeling at that time. You paint things based on how you're feeling, and you channel all of what you're feeling into your writing. Even if you're just creative writing, you'll find that your characters take on some of your emotions and personas of the situations you've put them in.
Oh yeah, when unfortunately a couple of years ago I had to put my cat down because he was really ill, and part of dealing with that was I actually wrote a story about a character who had just got the news that they had to put their cat down, and it was basically writing exactly what was happening to me, but happening to someone else. And I could write all the emotions that they were feeling. I could go through the regrets and everything like that. I could really delve deep into what I was feeling, by presenting it as another character. And that helped immensely with the whole process. And I was just like, if I didn't have that outlet, I would just be sat here bottling it all up and not doing any kind of self-care. I would be instead, avoiding it.
Yeah, it's a really good coping mechanism. It's a great way to kind of express to yourself, like even if you're not sure how you're feeling, you can kind of detach and look at it from a bird's eye view and go, okay, well, I was doing this because I felt like X, Y, Z. Yeah, I find that it's kind of revealing. It's like, what's that saying? It's like, give a man a mask and he'll show you his true self or something.
So, Nikki, do you have any good self-care things that you do for yourself?
So, when I was trying to think of what self-care meant to me, I hit a brick wall for a good few hours. And then I decided to break it down and look at how I spend my day. So on an average work day, I get up at 5 a.m. And the first thing that I do is I roll out of bed and I make a cup of coffee. And while I drink that coffee, I do my makeup. And I realized that actually, when I put on my makeup and I put on my glitter and I spend that 15 minutes really just focusing on myself and trying to put my best face forward as it goes, for me, I find that massively helpful. But then the next thing I do is I focus on my plants that I keep in the living room, and I make sure that they're doing okay. Do they need a dusting? How are their water feeling? Because I'm not going to be in for the rest of the day, so I need to take care of that before I leave. And I sort of realized that that's another thing that I do. I take a minute out and I really look at them. I feel the soil, how they're getting on, how are the leaves looking. So I say that I guess my hobbies and my self-care I'd start there with coffee, makeup and plants.
To be fair, if you asked me what I would put Nikki down for, it would be coffee, makeup and plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
absolutely.
Directly after that, the next thing that I do is I drive to work for half an hour. And if you don't think that I have the volume in my car turned up to maximum and I'm not playing all of my favourite songs to shout and scream and do little harmonies to, then you don't know me, because that is entirely what I do.
Yeah, music is a massive release for me as well. I love just putting on tunes super loud. My neighbours must hate me, but I put on some music super loud and just sing along.
And for me, that is self-care, because I start the day thinking, oh my God, it's 5 a.m. Ugh. And I walk into work like, hey guys, what is up? Are we ready to start the day? I'm ready to start the day.
You're that person. Come on, God, we're in such a good mood, guys.
Yeah. You know what? I am. And good. You know why? Because so many people at my work are in a bad mood, so I'm in a good mood out of spite.
I love that.
It's like with the music. Last week when I was having I was going to say a little meltdown, but it was a proper meltdown. I had been anxious since the night before, and I had to go to work, and it was just, I put on Linkin Park's album, One More Light, screamed to it the whole way to work, and by the time I got to work, I felt like 1,000 times better. I did a few other things before I left for work, but I have very, very limited time, probably just like Nikki does, before I go to work. Because I wake up at 5:30, I have to be at work at 8, so I have to eat, shower, have my breakdown, and get ready for work. So it's not a lot of time, and then drive to work as well, and it takes me 45 minutes to an hour. So it doesn't leave you a lot of time to do self-care. So little things like listening to music in the car is really, really helpful.
Exactly. I feel like it helps put your head into a mindset that's a good and a happy one.
Music can really change your mood as well. So if you just put on some happy songs, just by singing along and feeling the beat and everything, it does put you in a happier mood.
Yeah, I went through a phase once where I thought like my relationship was breaking down, I was getting depression and whatever. Turns out I'd just been listening to The Weeknd on the way to work. It's like, no, I actually don't have problems. I just need to change up my playlist because I'm listening to it. He's a miserable one.
I'm exactly the same.
Like, has anyone checked on him? You okay, man?
Is he okay?
I also find though sometimes putting music on, like One More Light is not a happy album, but because it expressed the things that I was feeling in a way that I was unable to express myself, it gave me that outlet, and it also makes you feel sometimes like you're not alone, which is always so important when you're having one of those moments.
And it sort of links back to what Crystal was saying with her cat. Sometimes expressing your feelings via someone else can be really helpful to help you turn around and realize how you're feeling yourself.
Yeah. One of the things I didn't mention that I do for self-care, which most people won't see as self-care, is actually exercising, because because of many things that are wrong with me, medically.
Nothing's wrong with you. You're fine. You're beautiful and you're wonderful and we love you.
You didn't fix my ovaries though.
I'm sorry, I'll do better next time.
So I've got polycystic ovaries, which makes you have all sorts of hormone problems. So I find that doing the exercise, releasing the serotonin, all the other hormones that come from doing exercise, really helps to balance out my mood. And I really notice it when I go through a very low motivated, like not wanting to exercise, when I don't, because everything just continues sliding down the scale. And so I now know that even if I just go for a 15-minute run or flap about in my living room trying to do a HIIT workout, it's better than not doing anything. And it really does help and make me feel like I'm looking after my body and in some ways my brain, because it just make all of those things balance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My nature walks, I would not have been able to cope with half the things that I've coped with without being able to just take even 10 minutes, go somewhere where you can see nature, and you get the exercise, your blood's pumping, and you go into kind of like a meditative sort of trance. I mean, I do. I don't know about other people, but I go into sort of a meditative trance where I can really think about things that are happening, but in a safe kind of way. And there's something about, all that sunlight and just being around, I really like to go around woods and rivers. There's something about being able to just ground yourself by really concentrating on what nature looks like and what nature sounds like. That, for me, that's a massive, massive help whenever I'm feeling particularly anxious or just stressed out about anything. I was just like, you know what, screw this, I'm going to go take a half-hour walk. I will deal with this later.
I literally could not agree more. Some of my favourite times are just going for a walk for half an hour with my dog, and we take this lovely nice path and we walk through trees and fields, and there's a little stream, and it's so nice to take this walk with a living being that I don't have to talk to and just sort of be at peace and sort of enjoy the nature around me.
Okay, I am completely the opposite of you guys, because as soon as this lockdown's over, if anyone dare suggests to me going for a walk, I will mace them. I am sick of walks. I am sick of my own company. I am sick of being up in my head. Honestly, like, it's the new eat some fruit when you're hungry. It's like, oh, I'm bored. Go for a walk then. No, this is something that is not coming with me out of lockdown. If you know me, you know I like to be out. I like to be doing things.
Hear me out. What about a coven meeting in the woods?
Eh?
What about having a meeting in the woods?
Yeah, just witches
set a fire, get naked, dance around it. Sounds great.
I can get along with that, but I'm always up for being naked. But I just, oh my gosh, I just hear everyone being like, oh, you know what, going for walks is great, it's really nice. It's like, no, it was nice in lockdown 1. It was kind of getting played out in lockdown 2. I'm in lockdown friggin' 19 and a half. I don't even know. I don't know what year it is anymore. And if anyone suggests going for a walk to me when this is over, I will mace them. If anyone suggests an online pub quiz, I will mace them too.
What about a real pub quiz? Because I think I will mace them agree with a real pub quiz too. I was like, no, I just want to get drunk in a pub. Quit the quiz.
Yes.
Just let's go have a bevy down the pub and chat like normal people.
Yeah.
Does a beer garden count as being in nature? Genuine question. I feel like a beer garden counts as nature.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As much nature as I want after this.
I mean, self-care is going to the pub with all your mates sometimes. So,
well, self-care is though, right? Checking in with friends.
Socializing. I mean, just connecting with other humans.
When I can see all of your faces in real life, I'm just gonna hug you so hard because I'm fed up of doing it over the computer now. It's getting a bit weird hugging my computer screen.
Actually, you know what? The online meetups, I actually hope that we keep those just because everyone's so far flung now. We're all up and down the country. It's actually quite a nice thing that we can meet up with everybody. And just, it makes me feel a little less sad getting drunk in my room. It's like, I'm not technically alone because there's people on the camera. This isn't a drinking problem. It's just fine.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
But it's not a drinking problem.
No, because otherwise I've got one too.
Me too.
No, but yeah, it's really great because we don't all live locally. Some of us live quite far away, and the robustness of the whole virtual thing is, I really like it. Really happy. I really like it. It's really good because I can be in the safety of my own home, and I can be like, right, guys, it's 9 p.m. I'm done. I'm going to bed. And I just have to hit the off switch and walk 20 steps to my left, and I am in bed. Yes, that is the commute that I need.
I do enjoy that, I'm not gonna lie.
What didn't work for you when you were trying self-care bits out over the years? Because obviously we're all into our mid to late 20s now, so we've all had probably a go at pretty much anything people were trying to sell us as self-care. What have you found didn't work for you?
Real talk, bubble baths.
It just gets in your hair.
Like, if you go into
it just gets in your hair, it makes it greasy.
Yeah, like I have a little plastic bath which is filled with bath bombs. Like, I love bath bombs and all that, but I never use them because it's so much effort. Because I have to make sure that the tub's clean. Because I shower. I just put that one out there. I'm not just a lazy bitch.
I wash sometimes.
So I gotta clean the bathtub, and then I've got to fill it full of water, and I've got to stop my cat from jumping in it for some reason. And then I put the bath thing in there, and then there's never enough bubbles for me to actually feel like I'm clean. So I end up adding a load of bubble bath to it anyway. And that's if I don't shower beforehand, because honestly, sitting in my own filth is just not what relaxes me. So yeah, I mean, the amount of times I've had a shower only to then clean the bath so I can have a bath. And then sometimes after the bath, I will have another shower. Because, yeah, as you say, I feel greasy. I don't feel clean at all. I just feel even more stressed out. And, like, I just wasted £20 on all this bubble.
I will take
How much
bath
are you
bombs from
spending
you.
on bath bombs? Wow.
I have a problem, okay? And the
Yeah,
problem is I like
agree.
things that smell nice.
It's like, I do find a bath relaxing, but for the same reason that you find it stressful is the reason why I don't have them that very often, because we're a shower household, so you clean the bathtub and you clean the bathroom once a week, but then if you want a bath like 3-4 days after you've cleaned the bathroom, you then got to clean the bathtub again. And also my cat hates water. She's done some really funny things with her hating water, which I won't bore you with, but she would probably try and jump in the bathtub and then attack me because she got wet because the bathtub had water in it.
That's exactly what Willow did. Willow tried to stand on the bubbles and was very confused when the bubbles did not hold her weight. Luckily, she only put one tentative paw in, and I could sort of shoo her away. But yeah, no, I was just, please, I'm very vulnerable when I'm in the bath. I don't need a kitten with all those claws and teeth falling into the bath with me.
So yeah, something I found that doesn't work, which I was really annoyed that it didn't work because I was invested, is yoga. Like, I love a good workout.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god.
I go for a run, I do my weights, I do like those like videos of like ab workout in 10 minutes. I love those. Someone's like, okay, let's do 30 days of yoga and you'll be more mindful, your body will change. It's like, I don't like this. This is boring.
So
It's like, and breathe in.
Oh,
It's like, oh, what comes next? Breathe out. Freaking revolutionary. Never would have seen that coming. Breathing in and out. Thanks for telling me.
I get real confused with when I should breathe in and out, because you're supposed to do it on a certain, no, not breathing, but you're supposed to do it like as you go into downward dog, you're supposed to breathe out, and as you go into the next one, you're supposed to breathe in. And I've done it the opposite way, and
I'm just
everything
stressed,
else.
and I feel like
It's
a
like one of
failure.
them-
Like, I feel like I failed at yoga, and I'm failing at breathing. I was like, this is not good for my self-esteem. It's okay at breathing. I don't like this. You're making me feel bad about myself.
Not to mention, yoga hurts so much the next day.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, it hurts in places that I didn't know could hurt.
Those are muscles you've probably never used before, and because you quit yoga, will never use again.
Exactly. I don't need to be buff in places that I don't need to be buff in, okay?
Clearly. Like, if you're not using it, then you don't need it.
Right. But people love yoga so much, and it's the first thing that so many people jump to is, have you tried yoga? When I say I need to relax. And no, I have, but no.
The only yoga class I've ever actually enjoyed, and the only reason I stopped is because I no longer worked in the area, was run by a very nice lady, and I can't remember exactly what she called it, but I always refer to it as power yoga, because, yeah, you got some of that mindfulness to it, but, we're jumping from pose to pose, and we're really pushing ourselves, and we end everything trying to do headstands, and it was just really fun, and I really felt like I had a workout. Like, I had sweat pouring out from everything during these workouts. I was like, yes, this feels good, because it's basically like aerobics or something like that. It felt really, really good. But then when I tried to do other people's yoga classes, they concentrate so much on, oh yes, and then relax and think about your inner self and la 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 la, and I'm so bored. I get so bored so quickly. I have no attention span. Just get on with the next pose, please. I'm done. I want to go home.
The thing that I think didn't work for me, and it's different when you're with a group of girls because you're having a bit of a laugh while you're doing it, but it's face masks and stuff. I am not very girly. I wear makeup sometimes, but I'm not very girly, so face masks aren't really my thing. I had to have Nikki recommend a hair mask when I damaged my hair with bleach because I had no idea what I was looking at. And I had to do like 3 hours of research to work out what skin type I had and what fucking moisturizer I needed, because again, I don't it doesn't interest me. And you're lucky if I remember to put my moisturizer on my face after I've washed my face, let alone every day.
You're not lucky if I wash.
So it's
if
just
I've washed, and if I don't know, I've done you a favour. You are welcome.
It's all those kinds of things that are like all like in the beauty range of things. I like doing it with friends because it's a laugh, and okay, yeah, my skin probably does need a face mask because I probably need to moisturize it more because I am as dry as a desert. But it just doesn't relax me in any sense of the word. Oh, I'm sat on the sofa with a glass of wine and this wet thing on my face. Oh wait, it's drying now. Oh shit.
Or it starts poking you in the eye, and you're like, you can't actually drink your wine or eat your ice cream because you're wearing a face mask.
Or if I'm having a bath, I either take my iPad because I've got a thing that goes across the bath that you can put your stuff on. So I take my iPad and watch something, or I take a book and I read in the bath in like mood lighting. If you've got like a face mask or anything on, you can't really move your face. You can't really react to anything. So I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love face masks, but for a practical reason. So I put face masks on because, I have special ones depending on what kind of outbreak I'm having. Like, is this a stress-related outbreak, in which case we're doing lots of moisturizer and I should, chill out a bit more. Is this because of the masks, in which case I've got irritated skin? And, I've got certain face masks for certain things. If I'm particularly oily, then I'll do like a peel-off followed by a moisturizing one. But it's all, yes, I mean, it does come under self-care because I'm caring for myself. But they're all very practical. I never do a face mask because I want to relax. I do it because there is a thing that I need to fix with my skin balance.
You know what is underrated, though? When you've got one of those sheet masks on, and like you've got skin that's really like irritated and dry, and you put it on and you literally can just feel it soaking in. You're like,
that's
I'm
a nice feeling.
True.
Moist.
True.
That's just my face, Nikki. That's not just a patch of skin. That is just my face when I've forgotten to moisturize 2 days in a row and had a shower.
But you know what? I feel like I'm sort of a black sheep here because I love bubble baths and I love face masks, and they do make me feel better. But you know what? I also have one of those things that goes across, and I can watch about 3 hours worth of anime on my phone. Whilst drinking wine, whilst I got my face mask on. And you know what else I do? I exfoliate the crap out of my arms, legs, and chest. And oh my god, by the time I get out and I have a quick shower, and then I moisturize everything else, oh my god, I feel amazing. I'm on a cloud, baby.
You're like a whole new person.
I'm on a cloud.
Love that for you.
But if it doesn't work for you guys, yeah. But it's self-care so different for everyone, right? And that's kind of the magical part.
Yeah. It's like I've got the Calms app and I pay for it, and that's because I don't like Kat. I don't meditate every day. I don't probably do it as regularly as I should. But when when I need to separate myself and have a moment of self-care or clear my mind or whatever it may be, it's nice to be able to access that on demand I've got loads of selection of different meditations. Like I've got a really nice deep sleep one from when my insomnia's getting bad, where you just put it on with some headphones and it goes through a body scan, and then a nice soothing voice tells you to go to a deep sleep. And yeah, but whereas I know people have tried meditation and absolutely hate it, think it's the most boring thing ever.
Me.
Can't focus.
Can't stand it.
None of those things, and that's fine because not everybody can.
That's true.
Absolutely. Self-care shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all outfit.
No, just because it worked for you.
And anyone that tries to convince you that it is, run.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell you something, chances are.
It's also those people that you come across them in all kinds of walks of life when you're talking about all kinds of different topics, but they're like, but it worked for me, so it must work for you, but it works for me. It's like, yes, but we're all very different people. We've all had very different experiences, and we've all got very different personalities based on who you were born as and the experiences you've experienced. So not everyone's going to react the same way. Like, you know, me comfort eating a packet of donuts is not good for me, but it makes me feel better for 10 minutes. Not going to make everyone feel better for 10 minutes, but it makes me feel better.
It makes me feel better.
Do you guys remember when that, when Marie Kondo was happening, that cultural thing was happening, and just people, because she said, "Oh, throw out your books after you've read them," and people lost it. There were articles about she can pry my books out of my cold dead hands. Everyone's really angry. And I'm sat there thinking, okay, so it's not for you. It's not for you. Move that. That is for somebody else. Stop writing BuzzFeed articles about it. Stop writing listicles about it. It's just not for you. Like, why are you so mad?
It also shows, though, that they didn't actually read her technique, though. It's a classic thing of they didn't actually look any deeper than the fact that she said throw out your books. It's throw out your books if they no longer bring you joy.
Yeah, if you're not going to reread them.
And in defense of that, oh my goodness, when you finally get someone saying, you know what, if they're no longer bringing you joy, then they're dragging you down. It felt so freeing to give those books to a charity shop or to friends and family that wanted them, and that they were no longer taking up emotional space in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. Honestly, actually, real talk, Marie Kondo and the whole sparking joy thing really substantially changed the way that I have my house and my belongings and the way I choose to buy things as well. Even like it affects everything. Like it's almost subconscious now where I go, is this bringing me joy whenever I do anything or pick anything up? That's why, you know, occasionally someone comes to my house, there's just 1,000 boxes outside my door, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just decided to get rid of all these things because I was holding on to them for no reason other than the fact that I thought that I should hold on to them.
Thinking about it, Marie Kondo had a grasp on self-care. Sorry. If it doesn't make you happy, it's not paying your bills, get rid of it.
Yeah.
I feel that. I just need a bigger house because what makes me happy is having a small library, and I do not have enough space for that right now. Like Carrie Hope Fletcher on Instagram has literally turned her office into like half a library, and I'm well gel.
Love that for her.
I just want to open a cat cafe where I can adopt strays and I can spend my whole time baking cakes, playing with cats. Just that.
Like the best self-care though.
Oh, on that though, my self-care that I can't stand and I can't get into is baking and cooking. I hate it. Yeah. I'm sorry guys, I hate it. Not only that, I hate the cleanup. I hate it.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on cleanup. That's why I want to own a cafe where I have a person who is a dishwasher and they do all the cleaning. I just want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I like baking. I enjoy baking. I'm actually pretty good at it. Cooking, can't bloody stand it. Our friend, when he comes round, he loves cooking, and we're trying to cook a recipe, and apparently this is normal if you like cooking. You throw extra bits in. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm following the recipe. And it just makes me so stressed and angry. I'm just like, fine, you cook.
A cooking recipe is a mere suggestion list of things that might go well if you put them together in a certain way.
Yeah, the recipe is a suggestion, not a target.
Absolutely.
And I'm not good at cooking.
I don't think I've ever actually used a recipe and actually agreed with everything it said, especially when it comes to garlic.
The garlic you do have to like triple.
I always had like
however much they say you need is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not burning my eyes every time I take a bite, then I haven't got enough garlic.
So when lockdown number 2, maybe halfway through hit, I was experiencing what some might refer to as burnout and depression, because my job is quite stressful and requires a lot of emotional energy. So I started to think about ways that I could be a happier person without falling into the trap of being like, nope, everything's great and everything's positive and I'm the problem because I'm not being positive. So what I found was sort of like a gothic self-care really helped. For Christmas, from my Secret Santa, I'd been given a voodoo doll. And I figured, you know what? I stuck on some Fleetwood Mac. I got the voodoo doll out. I poured myself a glass of red wine. And I had a grand old time. I, just full on went for it. And like, there wasn't a rule book. I didn't go by any sort of thing. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pretend this is a random person that I don't like at work. I'm going to stab them with the pins. Is it positive? No. But do I feel better? Absolutely. And then off that bat, when I was out in nature, I started to make up my own little spells as I went round. I did my own little rituals. I really got involved in it and thought maybe if I'm a part of this sort of idea, the energy that I'm putting out, I can breathe back in maybe some positivity. I found that really good.
Exactly.
Like now, when I'm pruning my plants, they all have names. And when I chop off the dead heads of those flowers and I'm channeling that Morticia Adams realness, oh my goodness, it's amazing. I
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's come out the way I wanted to, but here we are. Me, my altar, and my crystals, very happy.
No, exactly. I mean, I live for that shit. I've been dabbling in the magics, I guess, for many, many years now. And whilst I have a very sort of strictly scientific mind about things, I really do like the idea of putting energy out and that's the energy you get back in. So I always try and put out positive energy. I try and say positive things and do positive things and hope eventually that positivity will one day finally make its way back to me. I'm going to say positive about it.
I feel though with saying that's like you've got a scientific mind, that's actually the basic rule of physics. Where there's a reaction, there's an equal opposite reaction. So if you're putting positivity out in the world, at some point it has to come back to you. And the same with negativity. That if you put out negativity in the world, eventually it will come back to you because it rebounds off of whatever you're throwing it out and comes back.
Exactly. Energy cannot be created and it can't be destroyed, but it can be manipulated.
Yeah. And I do also feel with the doing your spells and having that negative thing with the voodoo doll, it's actually you have to channel that energy somewhere, and actually it may not be necessarily productive, but it channels it in a way that doesn't harm anyone else.
Exactly.
You're just expressing your emotions on this poor voodoo doll that hopefully you've not put any of our hairs in.
Oh, absolutely not. None of yours.
Do you need some acupuncture?
There is nothing wrong with wrapping some of your own hair around a voodoo doll and giving it back. Just,
Self-care, you guys. Make a voodoo doll of yourself and treat it real nice.
Yeah.
Put that voodoo doll in a bubble bath, give it a little glass of wine, and give it a little massage.
See, that's the way around the whole bubble bath problem of the grease is getting everywhere. Just give the voodoo doll a bubble bath. You're fine. It counts.
Yeah, and the massage is not a bad idea on a voodoo doll because no one else is doing it for me.
Exactly.
There are also some beautiful self-massage techniques that you can look up online.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's something just nice about being able to relax into the massage because you're not actively giving yourself a massage.
Very true.
Become a puddle on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I want.
To be fair, I'm looking forward to cuddle puddles when you're all vaccinated. We need a cuddle puddle, and we need it yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
I was saying before, I love this whole witchy shit, and one of the things that I started doing is I got a tarot deck, so tarot cards. And number one, tarot cards read you to fucking filth. I don't care if you believe or you don't believe. Somehow the tarot cards just know exactly what it is you need to hear. And it's very, very alarming.
She does these readings and she is telling the truth. Even if you don't believe in them, she'll read you the meaning on whatever question you've thought of. It's fuck.
But that's what I love about them, is because what the cards do is, the cards are very vague and very generic, but they make you think and they make you reflect. And so what I try and do every day is pull one card. And whenever I pull that card and I start looking up the meaning, or if I already know the meaning, I will automatically associate it with something that is on my mind, and then I can use that to reflect on the thing that is on my mind. And to be honest, it's helped me work through lots of emotions and the way I've been feeling about things that confuse me. I was in a position where I was like, why am I feeling this way? I was feeling a very negative way, and I couldn't figure out why. So I did a tarot card spread, and just by reading the meanings of these cards in relation to my problem, suddenly it all made sense, because you already know at a subconscious level what it is that you need to hear, and that's what you will read from the cards. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I always try and do some tarot card readings, especially whenever I'm confused about something. If I need a bit of a hype person, I'll pull a tarot card, because chances are it's going to be a nice hype card, and I'll be like, yes, bitch, I can do this. This is all going to be fantastic.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got to agree. I think that's probably the only time that I really focus on meditation is when I do a tarot pull. Because the first thing I do, again, I don't know if this is to a ritual or anything, but I light a candle, and then I call upon like ancestors, spirits, any sort of guardians, goddesses, whoever who wants to come around and help me out here. And like, I'll pull a card and I will have like a little conversation with them. What do we all think this means?
Yeah, I always have a conversation with tarot cards. I ask them very nicely what the question is, even if it's just in my head. I ask them very nicely, cover the cards, pull it, and I thank them for the card. Sometimes I swear at them and be like, why did you have to give me that fucking card? I didn't want to hear that. But I always thank them. Has to be an open,
honest conversation.
I thank them. I discuss what that means to me, put it all back, put them all together, and what I like to do is light some incense afterwards. Especially, I've got some frankincense and myrrh.
Ooh.
And I believe frankincense and myrrh is meant to be sort of like a protective thing, cast evil, and anything malicious, spirit wise. So you know what, I just like to light a bit of that. To be honest, it's quite nostalgic for me as well, because I grew up with that sort of scent. So it just makes me feel good and nice and safe. And so, yeah, I always like to close up any kind of witchy thing I do with a bit of frankincense. But my favourite thing to do when I'm very stressed, and especially happens when I'm drunk and it's a full moon, I will sit at my window with some incense, and then I will have a conversation with the moon.
Oh, I love talking to her.
Yeah, a friend of mine was very ill, so I went up to the moon. Well, obviously I didn't go up to but I went to the moon, started shaking my fist at it, and I was going all those names like, you better make my friend better, because otherwise I will come up there and you will know the meaning of pain. And whilst I didn't quite subscribe to all of my, be positive and such, she got better. So as far as I'm concerned, it worked, and I have power over the moon. So
confirmation bias just there. But it's the same as the superstitions in A&E. You say the Q word and suddenly 1,000 patients turn up.
Oh, God,
never say the Q word in any sort of medical setting. Never say it. No.
I have said it a few times, and I did not break the department. It broke the next night, and somehow I was still getting blamed. I was like, it's been 24 hours. It's not my fault.
I simply do not say it.
It slipped. And actually, I was talking about the last time the department was quiet, not it being quiet that night.
Yeah, but you're insinuating, aren't you?
You did it. You said it. And these are the consequences. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses.
Nothing happened.
Stop making excuses. You're just a bad person, okay? You're a bad person. All right.
Okay, I will accept that. I broke the A&E department. If I get a text off someone today going, suddenly it got really busy, I didn't say it.
It sure as hell wasn't me.
So, any more gothic self-care from our lovely goths of the day?
I think I'm good, but I think my takeaway from self-care has always had to be it's not about forcing positivity. It's about understanding how you're feeling and understanding that you want to move on to a calmer, more settled
absolutely
phase. And how's the best way to then put everything else to bed and move on.
Yeah, for me, self-care always starts with a check-in. What is it that I need right now? Because, I'm feeling a bit blue. I could just do anything on my list of things that I know instantly make me, give me that sweet, sweet serotonin. But if I don't do that check-in, then whatever it is I do probably is just going to mask the problem and make it worse further down the line. But if I do that check-in first and I go, right, what is it? Am I feeling unsatisfied? Am I in pain? You know, am I just having a mental health day? You know, having that check-in with your body, mind, and soul really does, you know, depending on what that check-in says, depends on what I will then do to perform said self.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also find that self-care, like, especially when it's sold to you by the capitalist society we live in, it's always about making yourself feel better. But self-care is also about doing things that your body needs. Like, we've all mentioned exercise and vegetables and things. And our body needs nutrition, unfortunately, even though vegetables aren't very exciting. I wish I could eat takeaway every day of the week, but I'll be the size of this flat, and I would probably be very, very malnourished.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes self-care is a glass of water.
Yeah, it's just doing those simple things that your body needs, even though you don't want to, because in the long run, it will make you feel better. It's not just about the short-term bursts of serotonin. It's about the long-term longevity of your health and happiness. Because you're not always going to be happy. You're more likely, but if you don't do these things while you're not feeling happy, you're probably not going to feel great for a very long time.
Not to mention, I suppose self-care really is about doing the tasks that you don't want to do, but unfortunately to do them, like doing the dishes, tidying the house.
Yeah.
How dare you tell me to do the dishes?
Believe me.
No, you're completely right. You know, I sit there and I stress about how I can't relax, and then I look around my house. I'm like, well, yeah, because just by looking up from the sofa, away from my phone where I'm doom scrolling, looking up, I can see 10 things that are stressing me out because they need to be done. So I can either just get up and do them, which will take me, you know, half an hour max, and then I'll be able to actually relax for the rest of the evening, or I can sit there and continue doom scrolling.
Well, Chris said to you yesterday, come clean my house, and you're like, no, and I finally did it. I had to tidy the floor and hoover. It took me half an hour to tidy the floor in the living room, hoover, and then hoover the hallway and hang up a load of washing. Didn't take me long, but I was just procrastinating because I didn't want to do it. But it felt so much better after I had done it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's procrastination. Yeah, sometimes self-care is not procrastinating.
But it's my favourite pastime.
It's so fun. It's definitely my top hobby is procrastinating.
Love that.
I'm very good at it. I'm well trained.
If that's true with everyone else, then I guess we should ask our listeners, what are some things that you guys do as a way of self-care? Are they goth? Are they not? We'd love to know. Let us know on Twitter @GothsDo, as well as on Instagram @GothsDoAthing.
And we'll share our favourite ones on both Twitter and Instagram, so you can see what other things people do for their own self-care.
Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure. I love you all. We love you all. And we'll talk to you next time.
Till next time, witches.
Peace out.
Cool. So something I wanted to signpost everybody to is I got a couple of these for my birthday. They're available in, I think it's either Lidl, the middle aisle in Lidl, and they are paint by numbers sheets. So we were talking earlier about being creative, about expressing yourself, and that can be a little bit daunting if you're not good at the thing. But things like colouring in or paint by numbers, you still end up with a really nice, pretty picture, and you don't have to be particularly talented. You just have to be able to stay between the lines. So maximum output, minimum effort, absolutely go for it. And it really forces you to concentrate on the thing because it can be quite intricate. So that is what I think everybody should go do.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast.
And you can follow us on Instagram @GothsDoAthing, on Twitter @GothsDo, and YouTube's GothsDoAthing.
I hope you enjoyed our talk on self-care. We look forward to you listening next time, where we will be talking about books, things that we would recommend and things that we are currently reading.